Hello.
Hi,
Hey, Andrew.
this is Andrew.
How's it going?
Going well.
Good, good. Okay, so I know you're really busy, so I'm gonna try to make this really quick.
Sounds
Um,
good. I'm eating right now. Hopefully that doesn't bother you.
what's that?
I'm eating right now. Hopefully that doesn't bother you.
Oh no, not at all. Okay, so obviously I'm a fan of the show, and I watched a lot of your interviews, so I know a lot about like your background and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be asking like kind of like the same questions, so I hope you don't mind.
Cool. Yeah, okay.
Okay. So my first question is, so I read that you became interested in stand-up while working at a restaurant near college,
Mm-hmm.
near your college campus, while waiting
Mm-hmm.
tables.
Yeah.
So what specifically about stand-up attracted you the most?
Hmm. Um, I always loved stand-up since I was a kid.
Mhm.
I mean, I remember when I was like a really young kid, Russell Simmons' Def Comedy Jam was popular. And I bought those. Well, I didn't buy them. My parents bought them for me, but I signed up for this thing that would send a new video every single week. It was like basically it was a scam, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
But they just kept sending me videos and kept charging my parents' credit card, and eventually they just stopped it. But yeah, I remember loving stand up, and I remember I started Kings of Comedy, and I just remember loving it. Chris Rock, the way he thought, really, I related to it. You know, I'm not a conventional thinker in that way. You know, when everybody thinks one way, I start to question it. I'm a little concerned with groupthink. I don't think groupthink has ever led to anything good in history. I think a lot of times you have to go against the grain for progress. You also have to go against the grain for destruction. But
Right.
I think like there's something nice that in the middle, right in the middle, in between those two things, progress and destruction. There's a really nice place where we can live. Or I should rather say, in between chaos and complete control.
Okay.
Chaos is fucked up. Complete control also fucked up. Right.
Right.
So that middle ground is nice. So I don't know. Yeah.
So when you decided to go to college, I know you majored in psychology. Did you already know that you wanted to get into entertainment of some sort?
No, not at all. I went to school. I studied business first. Thought I was going to be doing something in business. My parents owned a small business growing up. I assumed I would be, probably, be an entrepreneur in some way. Then I liked, I wasn't really into the business classes. I thought they were boring. I took a psych class. I liked it. And I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll do this. I was always interested in psychology. Both of my parents are, depressed a lot. So I was very interested in, what causes depression, how you deal with these types of things, and mental health in general, and like working for your mental health. So I was interested in it. Probably on some way I'd want to like save my parents or help my parents. There was some kind of like, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed young kid. So yeah, it was just something. I just wanted to study something I was interested in. I was like, fuck, if I have to be here for 4 years, I might as well enjoy it.
Right.
So I did that. And my final year, I was managing a restaurant. They just happened to have a comedy night. I always loved comedy, and one of the guys asked me if I wanted to try it, or the ladies asked me if I wanted to try it out. And I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So the rest is history.
Yeah. So okay. Were you scared? Okay, so in the interview, I think it was a Vlad interview, where you talked about how you moved back to New York and you just kind of like went hard and, started doing comedy shows, as much as possible. Were you scared that you weren't going to be able to make it, like, financially,
No.
and, like, sustain yourself in New York City? Because it's, like, one of the most expensive cities.
No, never. I'm from New York City, so I moved with my parents. And I'd saved $25,000 when I was in college. I was going to try to open up a bar with my friend. So I had a little cushion. And I decided, fuck it, I'm just going to spend all this money until I get funny. So at first that didn't work. Then I worked a little bit. And
Where did you work?
My folks are like, a dance studio, so I just kind of helped out there part-time.
Oh, okay.
And it got down to the point where I needed to like rent out my room to a friend for a month, and live in a closet. And then I lived in a closet. Yeah, I lived in a closet with my girlfriend for months.
Wow.
Like literally, we stayed in a bed in a closet together for
That's
months.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, it was just, it was cheap. It was something I could afford. I could live off of that. I could be a comic and live off of that. And eventually, it got to the point where I had like $700 left in my bank account, and then I got a college gig that was for, $1,500 or something like that. And then I got another gig that was for, $1,500. And I just started getting these gigs, and I was able to sustain myself. So
right.
It was close. But I never thought that I wouldn't be able to do it. Once I make a decision that I'm going to do something, I just do it. And I just work as hard as I can. Life isn't like love. Love, you can't, no matter how hard you work at making somebody love you, that won't work. You can't make somebody love you. But you can work hard at being funny. You can't work hard at being good at basketball. You can't work hard at business.
That's actually that's my next question. Like, how do you become, like, were you naturally funny growing up?
Yeah,
I mean there's a difference between funny as a person to your friends, people around you, but then being funny on stage. How do you practice that craft?
The difference is being funny on command. Everybody's funny when nobody expects it because the expectation is low. But if you basically say, everybody shut up, sit down, listen, don't talk, I'm going to do the talking, the expectation gets really high. So I was always, naturally funny. I understood humor. And I'm pretty comfortable around people. I thrived in groups more so than one-on-one situations. So that was, I had that going for me. And then I just studied it. Like I studied comedy. I studied my favorite comedians. I studied what they did right. I would write down their entire sets. I'd watch them on YouTube, write it word for word. Studied I read every book on comedy. Trying to understand how jokes were developed and how you write a joke and what is a joke and where does it start. And then you do all that kind of work, and then you got to kind of forget it so you can develop your own style and your own voice. And but yeah, I mean that was my process. I just attacked it like you would attack anything else. I attacked it like a scientist would attack finding a cure for a disease. You learn everything you can about the disease.
Right. Okay. So when you have a show, do you usually know about your audience demographic?
Sorry again?
So when you have a show, a stand-up show, do you usually know what kind of demographic that you're going to be performing in front of?
Depends. If I'm doing random shows in the city.
Random shows on the street?
In the city.
Oh,
New York City.
In the city. Okay. I'm sorry.
It's a random show. The people are coming to the show, not necessarily me. I know more or less who they'll be, but this is a collection of people. They don't really know me. Some people might, some people might not. Right? Now, if I'm doing like a headlining show as part of like a tour that I'm on, I'll know the audience. Yeah, absolutely. I'll know, and I'll know that they'll be comfortable with my sensibility, etc.
Okay, and do you adjust your humor, like your jokes, to that demographic?
No, I do the same set.
You do the same set. I remember you talking about that on the on the podcast. That it actually takes a long time to perfect a joke.
Oh, it takes forever. Yeah.
So you kind of have the same set for like a year or so, and then just keep adding to it, or how does it work?
You just keep adding to it. Always evolving, but what I'll do is I don't change my jokes up depending on the crowd. I might change the order of them. For example, if it's a brilliant idiots crowd, I can get into some really harsh shit right away.
Yeah.
The complete strangers, I gotta warm them up to that. You feel
me? Right. You can't start talking about rape right away.
Right. Absolutely right.
Oh my God, that's some funny shit. But okay, so you started in New York City, and then you started doing gigs abroad. So how did you transition from doing gigs here in the United States and then traveling, to
I just got opportunities. I mean, I perform much more in the United States than I have abroad, but I just got some really cool opportunities.
Right. Okay.
Took advantage of them,
Nice. Okay, so what is the quickest way to recover from a poor joke? Like, okay, so I watched, I'm sorry to interrupt you. So I watched this video of another interview that you did with Vlad, in which you admitted that you actually got punched in the face by some guy at the bar. So yeah, that was crazy. So how did you recover from that? Did you just continue performing?
I just kind of called out the situation, acknowledged it to the people in the crowd, and then upon acknowledging it, the people they feel like, okay, he's addressed what we are all feeling, we can move on. You know?
Yeah.
But it's like pointing out the elephant in the room.
So how did the rest of the night go?
If you walk in a Thanksgiving dinner, right, and you're in a wheelchair, and you don't acknowledge the fact that you're in a wheelchair the whole time, that's the only thing people are going to be thinking about. Right?
Right.
So you have to talk out why you're in the wheelchair first, and then you can have whatever conversation you want at the dinner table. It doesn't matter. You know? So I don't remember what I said, but I just kind of called it out.
Okay. That's pretty crazy. I mean, that takes a lot of balls to even come back to the same venue the next night. Yeah.
I came back next week because it was a weekly show. But
that's inspiring. That really is inspiring.
You have to, or else you're a pussy.
Yeah.
I can't be a pussy.
No, that makes sense. So would you say that was your worst stand-up experience?
Yeah, probably. I mean, bombing is always bad too. But that's the one that's most sticks out. Bombing is way worse emotionally because that stays with you for hours. Then punch in the face is nothing.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
When you do bad, when you bomb on stage, that sticks with you for hours.
But how do you know that you bombed? How do you know that the audience didn't enjoy your show? How do you know that it's not in your head?
You know. You ever hang out with somebody and get the sense that they don't like you?
Yeah.
Just imagine that by 1,000 times 1,000.
Oh my God, that's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I feel you.
So.
Okay, but okay. So here's another question: how do you prevent yourself from becoming jaded with what you do? Because I mean, you do it sounds like you do this comedy and the podcast. You guys work really hard.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Define jaded.
What's that?
Why would I be jaded? I think jaded usually happens when you don't get success or something like that, right? Is that when you get jaded? When you're like, oh, nothing's gonna work out. This sucks.
No, I think what I mean is jaded, as in you become kind of bored with what you do. I'm not saying you're not challenged, but you're just kind of well, this is getting old. It happens all the time. So how do you combat that?
you gotta create. You gotta keep on doing things that inspire you and that you love. But it's definitely a problem. It's definitely an issue. It's definitely something I can think about.
Right.
It's yeah, it's for real. But yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it doesn't inspire you, and also, and a lot of times the things that inspire you are things that you get positive feedback from. Unfortunately, so it's sometimes it's hard for if you're not like, let's say, a basketball player. Let's say if he's no longer good anymore, it's hard for him to play because he doesn't like being not good.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, in the creative industry, it's hard to just keep on creating and nobody giving a fuck about it. That's taxing.
Yeah.
So that can weigh on you. I mean, luckily with stand-up, you get the feedback right away.
You do, yeah, immediately.
But it's nice with your creative projects that you go, okay, let me get some good feedback, let me get some good response.
Uh-huh.
Because then it goes, okay, I should still do this. I should still keep on doing this and keep on creating and finding these things.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're doing well. I mean, I've never seen you live, but I'm addicted to your guys' podcast, and you guys are fucking funny. So.
You gotta check out a live show.
What's that?
You gotta check out a live show.
I would love to. I really wanted to go to the one in LA, but I missed it. I'm so bummed.
Oh no, that one sucked. That's actually good that you didn't go to that.
Really? Why is that?
It was just the setup wasn't right. Nothing was right about it. For our shows, it's actually better if it's like only people that really know our show.
Right. Yeah.
Stand up, you could be strangers and enjoy my stand up, right? Because it's written in a way. It's written for strangers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the design of it, is to like entertain people who don't know who the fuck I am, because that's what I've been doing for years.
Yeah.
But with the podcast, it's like we kind of talk to the audience, we talk to each other. It was just, so some of the people had no clue what was going on. They were like, "What am I watching?" And then other people were there, but then the group think, or the group reaction always suppresses the individual. So yeah, but it was a learning experience. We had a really fun up in Boston, so that gave us hope that we're still popping, if you will.
That's dope. Are you guys planning to come back to West Coast? Like California?
I want to do like an actual, really maybe a show in LA proper. Like,
yeah, you should.
That's what I want to do. I think that's gonna be the look. Because Anaheim is crazy. Like,
yeah, Anaheim. You should come out to San Diego. That's where I'm from. Where I live. Well, I'm not from. I'm actually from Russia, but I live in San Diego.
You're from Russia?
Yeah, I'm Russian.
Oh shit! I thought you were Mexican. Your name is Maria.
That's so funny. That's what everybody thinks. I get that a lot. Maria.
Yeah, Maria.
But Maria is actually an international name. FYI.
Of course. Obviously, matcha.
Yeah, matcha. See, you know.
I know about it.
Yeah.
I know about it.
You know about the Russians.
I dated some Russians in my day.
Oh, what?
They called me Andrushka. Andrushka, is that it?
Patrushka?
No, Andrushka, my name.
Oh, Andrushka. Yeah. It's like a cute way of saying Andrew. Yeah.
That's how you make shit cute, right?
Yeah. You got it. Okay. Ushka.
Right?
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so here's another question. So how did you meet Charlemagne? I mean, I know you guys met on MTV Guy Code, right?
Yeah.
Right. So how did you guys develop a friendship and decide to start a podcast?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, people just like minds find each other in that way. I think you're just kind of drawn to people that you fuck with. I think he's an incredibly talented guy, and And I just enjoyed kind of kicking him and having conversations with him. I didn't know who the fuck he was. I didn't listen to the radio show. I didn't,
You've never listened to Breakfast Class?
Not before. Not before.
Really?
I would have had that shit. Yeah, in New York, nobody listens to Power before Charlemagne.
That's
like,
true.
we grew up on Hot 97. That's it.
Hot 97.
So yeah, he was just a good dude, and yeah, so I just enjoyed it. It was fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys, you definitely have a really good chemistry. Well, what is your zodiac sign? I know it's a weird question, but I have to know.
Again?
What's your zodiac sign?
Oh, what's your zodiac sign? Scorpio. Isn't it obvious?
You're a Scorpio. Oh, okay, that makes sense. And Charlemagne is a Cancer.
Right.
That you guys, yeah, I can see why you guys get along.
We get along, Cancer and Scorpio?
Scorpio and Cancer are very compatible.
Is that right?
It is. You know anything about astrology?
Absolutely nothing.
No, okay. Well, it's a long conversation, but yeah, it's a good match.
Oh, okay. Well,
and it makes a lot of sense actually about your personality. Like you're very.
I'm a total Scorpio.
You're very stubborn, and very pensive person.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But that's what makes the show interesting. Well, cool. So how do you guys prepare for the podcast?
We don't. I think that's one of the fun.
You don't prepare.
Yeah, we don't really prepare.
You just read headlines and make up opinions.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, Charlemagne has definitely pushed me.
And read articles.
No, not just to be like. To basically have everything, have like a point of view. Like I do that for my stand-up, right? For my stand-up, it's like I have the opinion, point of view, and topic already put together. That's the one challenge for me with the podcast and stand-up is like I'll have points of view that I want to share on the podcast, but I can't because I'm working on a stand-up bit about it. So it's actually really dumb. All my best points of view are in my stand-up, right? But the podcast reaches way more people. So if I was smart, I would put all my stand-up POVs in the podcast. But it's just, there's something about that stage that I love. Also, I want to do specials and these types of things. So.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's so. He's got to push me to kind of like look into what I'm talking about and create the kind of have this consolidated point of view ready to go by the time I come in the next day. At least a strong point of view about it instead of just walking into the convo because he's constantly creating content, for the radio, etc. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
All right.
Are you done?
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So that's my preparation. It's throughout the week. I'm looking at things that bother me or interest me or whatever I find funny. Lately, it's been just things that bother me and I want to complain about. So I'm actually making like a conscious effort to like bring some funny things to it as well.
Okay. Well, so what topics do you gravitate towards the most? Like what?
Any kind of like gender politics or like race politics.
The race politics.
Like anytime anytime anybody's going too far left or too far right. Because I kind of see myself as like a disruptor. Like anytime anybody goes too far right, I pull them back in. Anytime people go too far left, I pull them back. Like that's what I'm basically doing. Like that scene with Spider-Man where he's got one web on one side, one web on the other side. He's like holding these two things together. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not really, but okay.
So, I just imagine a rubber band, and one person's pulling it to the left, and the other person's pulling it to the right.
Right.
So, like, I want to be essentially the rubber band. The rubber band is trying to pull both of them back to the middle.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, I don't really have any bias. I don't really have any agenda. I don't have anything else besides the fact. I guess my agenda is to like make you go, hey, you ain't shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to humble somebody. So how did rape become such a common topic on the podcast?
Yeah, it is.
Is it because of wax?
No, it's
you know what? Actually, I want to say something. I think wax is indispensable for the show. For the sole fact that I kid you not, 90% of men have a very similar mentality and opinion about rape culture as he does. I mean, I've dated guys who have very similar outlook on, on rape and treating women the way wax goes about it.
Here's the thing: why
and that's why I really like when you guys bring them on, even though you kind of like roast them a little bit, and it's funny, but it's an important conversation for sure.
Yeah, I hear you. Cool. Hold on a second. Here's the tricky thing about rape, and I think why we're so drawn to it. Is there's nothing that men hate more than rape, right? Than being a rapist. Right? It's the thing that we despise the most, right? It's the thing we're disgusted by the most. And I've said it on the podcast. We can look past murder. We can look past assault. We can look past anything else. We can justify those things. We even look up to people who have done those things. But rape is just one that you cannot look past. So I think the reason why we're so concerned about it, at least I'm concerned about it, is I don't like these changing definitions that are making me feel rapey.
Right.
Like that's why I have this reaction. It's not about silencing women or not trusting women or any of these things. I just don't want to live in a world where if I'm drunk and a girl's drunk, that can be considered rape. That is too frightening for me.
Right.
So that's why guys push back. It's not because we don't respect women. It's not because we think that they're lying about this shit. There's nothing to do with that. It's simply because we don't want to be seen as rapists because we hate rape so much. We think, like we all have mothers and shit. So it's like, it's in our DNA to hate it. So, I mean, if we were, I'm sure women would react the same way if we were finding a way to showcase women actually, hate their kids or some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if we start saying breastfeeding is a form of child molestation.
Oh my God.
It's a weird comparison to make, but like,
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I guess that's all the questions that I have for you.
All right, perfect, because I got to run. Hey, great to meet you, Maria.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing this. Like, I really appreciate it.
Definitely. All right, you take care.
You too. Okay.